There's another ancient artifact that, like the three that I've looked at before in my 3 episodes of the Secrets of Christmas video series that ran just before this one, there is another one. This is beginning to be beyond a joke now, beyond a conspiracy theory, that these oldest of ancient artifacts all seem to go through stages of being damaged, misinterpreted, and lost in oblivion. It's mocking its origins. This is the story of the Belec Slab, or the Belec stone, and it's important that we take this artifact from ground zero and reconstruct it from the beginning, as if we are the ancient scribe writing the story, just so you can see the reasoning and logic. So, as you see here, it is damaged. This area here chipped, and this piece came loose, and this whole area here is missing. So for a while I've been looking at this object in its broken state and thought, well, it's so inconclusive now, it's just another depiction of a bull, although scholars say there's no bull. These are hills and rivers. Okay, so what happened was the real original picture got onto Wikipedia, and then I could prove that the piece that I'm missing can be put back. So we're going to look at that. The story of France, its ancient beginnings, starts at Lascaux, the Hall of Bulls they call it. There's the main one here, which we're going to show at the end of this video. I'm going to go through the updates on these. It shows Orion's belt with an extra star. There was once a star here. There's an X-ray nebula source down here, which scholars will tell you was probably once a bright star. It was the time when they were fought. Just like in the Stonehenge story, we show 4 correlations for Orion's belt. Follow through to the bull, through to the back of the bull, Pleiades. Scholars are arguing over that. Coincidence, why would they show it as a bull? It just seems too good to be true. It's because that's how old this Taurus representation for these stars originates. And there's a little dotted line and a face. We'll go through that just now. But on the other side of the cave walls, there's another depiction telling it a different way, with Orion as a man, a bird-headed deity, like Sakara, like the Egyptian theme, and it's his male anatomy showing the way through to something important about the bull. But they're talking about, in this one, the birthing of a bull, or its male anatomy. I think it's more to do with its seeding of humanity, so to speak, with the male anatomy, more than a female cow birthing. But it's this, and they called it the afterbirth. I think it's his male anatomy there, and it follows through to something that's missing. These very neat straight lines, like a technical drawing expert would use with a ruler. And then, of course, the bird symbol to found civilization, and then arrow towards the ground. An interesting thing is the comparison of artwork. Bird-headed deity as a teaching mechanism. So how does this fit with this relic? And how does it fit with Egypt? I've got an update on here at the end of the video of what happened in the Dendera zodiac depiction here. There's something funny on this thigh of the leg of the bull. He's smiling, and there's these shock waves that come through. I've shown the mirror copy here, and I'll show you why Dendera showed it as a mirror copy. So this is actually the other way around, but for comparison purposes, it's important that we compare apples with apples, show them all the right way around, as it is in the sky. Crescented world, exoplanet, and a sun star. It is connected to this. And how the story is repeated in ancient Sumer, with the world of the ancestors being the small one, where the Orion man is standing, pointing the way, and behind him the sun. So it's an exoplanet and a sun star, and it's the story about this origin from the back of the bull. These stars that are associated with the back of the bull of Taurus. He's even turning his head to look at the strange ellipse that's illuminating light on the back of the bull. This is the place of our ancestors, behind the bull's back, and of course this is an enlargement of it. And of course, comparing Lascaux with Göbekli Tepe, Pleiades correlation, an X that marks the spot with the stars of Taurus. Orion is in that position, Orion's belt, through the bull's eye to find the ancestor star. That's just my theory recapped. So, before we go any further on this, I want to make it a clean slate. Wipe it all off, and we'll start by redrawing it carefully as we would imagine the scribe has done thousands of years ago, long before perhaps even the beginnings of Egypt, but perhaps even just after the flood. The survivors wanted to recapture the story. So the first thing they drew, the main part of it, is the bull. It's not a hill with rivers. It's quite likely it looks like a bull, has the horns like a bull. We think those are the legs. We're going to query that back leg. You'll see for a reason why. But let's take the next piece of logic here. Two important dots on the back of the bull and the piece that's missing. Now, if it wasn't for this recent piece being discovered and in an old photograph and putting it back together again, I wouldn't have gone ahead with the story. But because of this is just like the Sumerian image, a sun orb and an exoplanet in front of it, in my opinion. Let's go a little bit further. The leg of the bull is here. It's teaching about this bull's leg, but now hang on, this is the wrong side of the bull. It's from that area. And here's the interesting thing. If you look very closely, they draw a line and a spiral and take us right to the middle of the leg of the bull in telling the story. So it's telling you, hey, the back of this bull area, there's this leg constellation. Because what we have here are sun stars, there's no Pleiades. The Pleiades are missing. And they draw a line and show this leg with a hoof. And I want to show you a little bit more here. Possible stars with rings around them to show importance, and following in the direction of these two, Atlas and Pleione of the Pleiades, through the hoof direction. Just like the Egyptian mythology, they show these two stars in a line in the hoof. They're actually next to each other, but they show the emphasis on following the leg. That's how the star map works to find this exit marks the spot. They even have Orion's belt in here. This is the one that correlates identically. See, it goes through the bull's eye, through to the back of the bull. They show that, but there's a lot of extra detail. They have Orion twice here. Okay, let's just go back one. Okay, back. You see there's two depictions of Orion's belt. Maybe it's to talk about it. And the detail that's added around here starts getting very confusing. Now, this is what scholars say prove that it's a map. All these little grid patterns and these dots probably representing dwellings. But this is a map. Yes, they got that part right, and that's what inspired the map idea. But it's not a map of the ground, it's a map of the sky. Taurus, the Pleiades is taught as the back area of behind the bull's head, and the stars of Gemini have been shown as cross-reference in here as well. So that's how we get to the end point. And there's one more little piece that is added in here. They've filled the bull with little dots as well to say, hey, this is no ordinary bull. These are the stars of Taurus. Taurus is made out of stars, so they've basically gave it a little title by putting little dots in it as well. But there's a lot of extra information here. See these three big ones, three very big dots. They stand out more than anything else, and I think these were added on as an after story with the birthing of something from the back of the bull. See this little lines here? You're going to look at that as well, just like in the skull, to show something birthing from the bull. And these three might just be those three suns in the triangulation, just to tell the final piece of the puzzle. But it gets very confusing when they overlay each part of the story over each other. So, St. Belec Slab. It's a stone artifact from Western Brittany, thought to be a map of an early Bronze Age principality. Really? Okay. Here's the interesting little clue here. Okay, very ancient. It's early Bronze Age, fine. And it ends up in Cairo in Egypt. Hang on a minute. We know how Europe has raided Egypt with all its antiquities, but there's never really been much from Europe going into the Egyptian museums. But somehow this present location is in Cairo in Egypt. I think they were going to go ahead with the bull story and how it ties with Egypt, and something stopped them. Somebody was stopped, whether it was Paul du Châtelet was stopped because the story didn't continue and the piece was broken up. There is the piece in position, right? What happened? Look at it very closely. Definite two circles, and you can see the crack that was along there, and didn't take much for this whole piece to break off, and it's completely broken off here. So that was new. And there's the depiction of the bull. You can see it's a bull. Right, going back to the picture, looking at the damage, put back the piece. And there it is. Now let's go through the analysis. This is what it's showing in my opinion. The bull of Taurus, the exit marks the spot, the leg of the bull, and the line that explains how the Pleiades fits here as the leg of the bull. That's been severed, just like in the Mithras tradition. We're going to compare to that as well, how the bull was severed in a teaching mechanism and it ended up behind the back of the bull, and it's the Pleiades constellation. So we're going to compare it with Sumer. There is the similar pattern with Taurus, okay, and of course Egypt. You can see the obvious similarity here, and this is why I think this artifact ended in Egypt. It was taken to Egypt to release its great unified human origin story, explaining bull worship. Notice there's a new element here. There's a beam of light. Let's just go back one here. There are these strange two lines on the bull as well, and I look very closely at the stone. There's a little bit of residue taking those lines all the way to the top. I think it once had the typical beam of light, and this is very important with the Christmas story and the origins of why they measure these stars on the 25th of December that became celebrating the date of birth of the Christ. It's just the time when they decided to celebrate the beginnings of Christ. So that would complete it in my opinion. And how this now makes sense with the birthing of the bull. Let's look closely at it. That little bit there, huh? Enhanced it. It joins up these dots and the curve to the leg of the bull. So it's like a birthing situation of the male bull seeding humanity, which is typical of the Mithras story from the bull of Taurus. And here's the extra big ones. Now starting to make sense that all three of them, there's a third one as well, make a representation for those three sun-like stars. In Mithras tradition, Mithras is Orion man severing the leg of the bull, and that pattern ends up behind the back of the bull, and it's shown in his cape, which I believe is a cosmic conduit secret. And my 2-hour documentary will take this in a lot of detail. I'm not going to go through all of it, but showing that, you can press pause and see the reasoning here. The seeding of the male bull in the area of Scorpio, it's all explained in the 2-hour documentary. But it's quite likely that this story was not released because it proves our human origins are tied in with star visitors, our ancestors from the area of Taurus.
The Lascaux Cave of Bulls in France show the star map. The cave in Lascaux correctly identifies a very ancient time with 4 Orion's belt stars, like at Stonehenge. They show the way, as it was shooting through the bull's eye, to the Pleiades. But there is more. The ancient artist added a row of dots to what could be a human face. Compare with the star map. Wayne's template of the X marks the spot is most likely a match here. Another wall of the cave repeats the theme but differently. Again, it is Orion man's male anatomy showing the way. It was in 2002 that Wayne made this finding. Egypt's bird-headed deity Horus was Orion man. The downward-pointing arrow means to found civilization. As in Mithraism, the bull looks back, the male anatomy, seeding humanity as the Tauri, the people that founded civilization.
Another similar period ancient site is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. It also highlights Taurus. This civilization also obsessed in bull worship. Compare here to ancient Egypt and the Moses story where a special son of the gods was included on the bull's head. Herschel believes this is what the site once looked like. No excavation seems on the cards for the 2 round targets.
It's all originating from these ancient obsessions with bull and sun-like stars, as I show from the Temple of Dendera The leg of the bull shows its way to something. It's in a special video, so I'll show you what the video looks like now. But it's marking the sun-like star and its exoplanet in position. They're in Taurus, follow Orion's belt through the bullseye. Yes, that's the original origin of that saying, to find the star of the gods. This is the video you'll see in the description. This one, Pergamon Museum, I'm going to take it off the stand, in Berlin, is Gilgamesh again, showing more of an Orion personification. Note he is not in the normal Sumerian clothing. He's in a bodysuit wearing a belt. This is totally abnormal. Even his haircut here doesn't even make sense. He's got like a GI cut. He is the starman with a world in front of a sun. And near the Pleiades. That's exactly what we've seen in all the others. Pleiades and this important sun, and here we have the exoplanet. But if he is teaching about Orion, he is showing his position as Orion, showing the way to this. It is found, and here's Orion, here's Taurus. This is totally in sequence together. The two actually superimposed over the sun-like star and its exoplanet. And there's the part that's so important about Taurus. It's an ellipse that is flared, like illuminated, and the bull is looking back with sort of joy that this is what he's all about.
With the earlier Sumerian clay tablets' precise version of the cosmic human origin star map, and how it matched the template at Stonehenge, would come the mindset that had Herschel set out to search the Atlantic Ocean seabed. It would be this clue that would culminate in this documentary's biggest revelation.
As the world was counting down to 2012, I was watching Google Earth, looking for ruins, refreshed my page, and I saw that. I recognized that curvature from somewhere. This could be a computer code. I think it's first contact. The ancients are returning. I've published a book, Herschel's Atlantis, and there's a 2-hour documentary you'll see at the end of the video. These are my 3 books. I'm trying to promote Saving Forests, $19 for all 3, 1 delivery. Please consider becoming a flamekeeper in the here and now, or when you are gone, or as an activist. Please press pause and come back to this and you'll see the detail. But as a flamekeeper, you become part of the quest to secure the interpretational copyright and visibility of the hidden records. That is the difference.